Welcome to Gold DPS Proving Grounds Guide for Combat Rogues. These are the talents that I mostly recommend. Anticipation is technically a stronger combo point managing system which increases your DPS better than Shuriken Toss, but I have a personal love for Shuriken Toss, which is why I usually run it. These are the glyphs that I recommend, and I strongly recommend Glyph of Deadly Momentum. It makes running this so much easier. My character is not properly set up for combat rogues, having a primary focus in mastery and wielding daggers. However, even improperly set up, it is still possible to succeed. Now, combat rogues are probably the most awkward rogue specs to do Proving Grounds with, simply because they really have no form of reliable damage over time effect. And because of this, you have to literally single target every single ad down just about. With the rogue's primary ability to cleave, which is tied up in Blade Flurry, the targets just aren't close enough for you to be able to get the proper benefit from them. Now that being said, they do have the highest sustained damage, just outright, of many of the other rogues, and have a very strong burst. Now the second wave is the first wave where you've got to deal with a new type of ad, and that's this large illusionary banana tosser that I'm wailing on right now. Now what the banana tosser does is he tosses bananas at you. If those bananas hit you, you suffer a large debuff in damage dealt. It reduces your chance to hit by a fairly large margin. So there's two ways to handle this. One, run up and sit on top of him like I did right there and just burned him down. Or two, you have to run in circles and dodge the bananas, which is what I'm going to have to do in this way. Because I want to, of course, focus this healer down first to make sure he doesn't unload any heals, I unfortunately can't sit on the banana tosser. This means I'm having to run around and dodge all these bananas. And once he goes down, you then swap to the banana tosser, and now I can sit on top of the banana tosser. So you can't hit me with any bananas. A lot of the times that's what you're going to have to do in order to properly handle the banana tossers, simply because you can't afford to focus them first. There's always going to be some form of healer, or, as you'll see in another later wave, another ad that takes priority. Now I just kind of got lucky there. I still had the Amber from the previous wave. That's almost impossible to time. But this wave is still pretty much the same thing as the last wave. There's a banana tosser and a healer. You just gotta focus. So you just burn down the healer first while running in circles, kind of like I'm still doing right now, just out of habit. And you burn down the healer, then you burn down the banana tosser. And you don't have too much of an issue. That's a pretty lucky trick. You really can't count on that actually happening too much. It's really hard to time that. It's just a sheer dumb luck thing that happens sometimes. Alright, now Wave 5 has another new type of ad that you get to deal with, unfortunately, and that's the Illusionary Banshee. The Illusionary Banshee, what it does is it has a small timer over its head. If you don't burn down the ad before that timer expires, then you will instantly lose. Period. Doesn't matter how much time left you got over here. If you don't kill it quickly, you will instantly lose. Past that, there's just a bunch of Mogu shield ads in here that you have to burn down, so you simply single target and burn each one of them down one at a time. Just make sure to always swap to a Banshee every time one of those spawns. If you don't, then the Banshee will explode and you will lose. Now, as you can see in this wave, there's two healers. Now, the problematic thing about there being two healers, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a killing spree just to burn this thing down really fast, is the fact that if you focus the healers first, then they're simply going to spam heals on each other. And you can only interrupt one of them, the one you're actually sitting on, which basically means one of those heals is going to go off. And you're going to have to try to burn through it, which is impossible. You can't just simply burn through the healer's heals. So, what you have to do is DPS the Deep Vermin just a little bit at first, until the healers do their first heal. Once they do their first heal, as you see, I literally just auto-attack them down after that. Once they do their first heal, you can then focus the healers down individually. interrupt that. And here's a Banshee. Gotta burn this bugger down. And now I'm gonna just wail on the illusionary guy a little bit while he was vulnerable. Hit him a little bit. Interrupt that heal. Focus this bugger a bit. Now I need to go take care of this guy. Oh, scratch that. There's the Banshee. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the Banshee. And then I'm going to go ahead and wail on this guy. And he dies. And do I need to blow Killing Spree? Nah. I was pushing a little bit close to time, so I thought about pushing a cooldown. As you can see, I'm not really using my cooldowns too much. If you have issue in some of these earlier waves, feel free to blow a cooldown. Because they'll be back up again by the time you really need them. But I usually prefer to try to save them. Now in Wave 8, you've got to deal with the first of a new type of ad. And that's the Illusionary Shaw. Now, the Illusionary Shaw, unfortunately, are too big, too much HP to burn down easily right off the bat, and they have a deep protection shield on them, which reduces their damage they take by a further amount. So what you have to do is you have to wait for that shield to fall off, and then you have to unload on them. As you can see, I'm just unloading my damage right here. I'm going to go ahead and push Killing Spree. And spam a little bit more on it. And reactivate Slice and Dice, and down it goes. Wave 9 starts, and you've got a healer that you gotta burn down, you've got monkeys that you gotta dodge, so you just gotta focus this. There's gonna be a Banshee, I think, that spawns. Is there? No, actually, no, I don't think there is a Banshee that spawns in this wave. So you can see I'm just burning this guy down. Activating Sprint to run over to the monkey. Burn the monkey down. And there's a there is a Banshee. I thought there was a Banshee in here. Now this is the wave where you're going to want to be using these little berserking buffs that appear. As you can see, I just popped that berserking buff. That gives me a 30% damage increase, which really makes doing this so much easier. Without that 30% damage increase, this would be just about impossible. Especially doing it without cooldowns like I just did. I personally was just saving my cooldowns for the final wave just to trivialize that. But as you can see in here, burn down the healer first, then burn down the monkey. Be prepared for that one Banshee that's going to spawn, and then grab your berserking buff, which increases your damage by 30%, and then focus the Shaw down when he becomes vulnerable. There we go. He goes down. There's 11 seconds left. I believe there's going to be a Banshee that's going to spawn, though. I'm going to go ahead and just let my energy charge up for that. Banshee should be spawning in about 6-7 seconds, I believe. If I remember correctly, he spawns. Yep, right there. Boom, boom. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the berserking buff. And I'm going to go ahead and blow everything. And proceeding to just spam on him while the adrenaline rush is going. And he goes down pretty quickly. And I instantly killed, of course, the Banshee the instant it spawned. And there you have success. As you can see, a little bit rougher than some of the other, a little bit closer calls on some of those waves. But also, I didn't use my cooldowns quite as much as I possibly could have. I was primarily saving them. So make sure you simply focus the right target at the right time and keep moving around, and it really helps to prioritize targets that are hit by the amber. You get a big DPS increase on any target that's hit by the amber. You really shouldn't have to worry about upkeeping your Slice and Dice, as your Glyph of Deadly Momentum will keep that going. But do pay attention that if that does fall off, your damage will drop so significantly that there's no way you'll be able to do the dungeon. If you're having a real lot of trouble with it, swap to Subtlety or Assassination. It's much easier. Anyways, I hope this guide helps you, and thanks for watching.